We're on mute.
Welcome, everyone. It's 12 o'clock. We're excited to have you here today. Our union is proud, active, and united. Thank you for bringing visibility to SEMA and everything that we do. Every year, we share our accomplishments from the past, review the SEMA budget, and share some of our 2024 priorities. This lays the roadmap for the year and hope that together we can secure a strong contract, improve our working conditions, and the quality of life for our members. We also want to share on how you can be involved with SEMA today. So let's get started. By the way, this meeting is being recorded. So welcome, my name is Dolores Morales. I'm a public servant for the probation department since 1995, honored to serve as your SEMA president.
Hi, I'm Carla Collins, and I work in the County Executive's Division of Equity and Social Justice with the Office of Gender-Based Violence Prevention. Super proud to be your Senior Vice President, and I've been with the county and SEMA since 2002.
Hi, everybody. I am Lawrence Michael C. Arias. Going off script, just really quickly, can we just get thumbs up to make sure that you guys can all hear us? Just to make sure that you can hear us. Thank you so much. As I said, I'm Lawrence Michael C. Arias. I'm very honored to be your elected vice president. I work as a business systems analyst for TSS, assigned to tax and collections, where I've worked since 1995.
Hi, forgot we have our mute thing. I'm Donna Mensimer. I'm your SEMA Executive Secretary, and I am an Administrative Services Manager at Roads and Airports. I'm so glad you could join us today.
Hello, I'm Andrew Crockett. I am proud to be your SEMA Treasurer and a bargaining team member for Santa Clara County. I am a Senior Healthcare Financial Analyst at VMC.
Hi, I'm Jim Piazza. I'm your member at large. I'm an IT manager at the Health and Hospital System. I've been with the county since 2006.
Sorry. Hi, I'm Mary Beth Rogers. I'm a member at large on the SEMA Executive Board and very happy to serve you to be chair of the membership and liaison committees, as well as a member of various other committees and projects. I'm a management analyst out at the Social Services Agency in DFCS, and I have been with the county for over 34 years.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Robin Rivas Romano. I'm also a member at large on the SEMA board. I work at Social Services, and I've been a proud SEMA member for almost 22 years.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sandra Ontiveros, and I am proud to be the member at large representing Monterey County on the SEMA Executive Board. I work at the Monterey County Council's office as the Administrative Operations Manager.
Hello, everyone. My name is George McElroy. I'm a senior accountant with the Superior Court of California, County of Santa Clara. I have been employed with the courts and also a SEMA member since 2011.
Good afternoon. Thanks for taking some time to spend with us this afternoon. My name is Zeb Feldman. I'm the Senior Business Agent for SEMA out of the San Jose Public Employee Office.
Good afternoon, folks. Thanks for being here. I'm Adam Cole, another one of your SEMA OE3 reps, primarily representing Health and Hospital.
Hi, folks. This is Lauren Sue, one of your SEMA OE3 business agents, representing folks in Santa Clara County.
Hi, everyone. Jonathan Brown, SEMA OE3 business agent. I represent folks in Monterey and Santa Cruz counties.
We also have our admin assistant, Nancy Rucci Ortiz, who is at the SEMA office and helps connect members with the business agents and the SEMA Executive Board. SEMA has made many strides in keeping members connected and involved. So please do visit our website at sccma.org. And for any requests for assistance, you can reach out to us at help@sccma.org on the Contact Us page, and of course, emailing or calling Nancy. I'll pass it on to Dolores.
Thank you so much, Lawrence. We're very proud of our accomplishments in 2023. SEMA has been a part of several political campaigns, primarily making sure that the right people get elected to the Board of Supervisors. We've also established strong collaborative with our county partners, the Labor Council, the building trades, for all the counties that we represent. We're also very proud that SEMA is seen as a professional union with an area of expertise, primarily in the county, but in many other areas as well. SEMA is proud to have many of our members serve in elected offices, key commissions, boards, and offices. As you hopefully have seen, our communication is, in my opinion, phenomenal. We're able to show in a very visible way through digital media, kind of what we're doing and how we engage in the community, as well as some of the things that we do in the county. I'm very proud to have the best business representatives in the state, representing our members throughout the county. And we're looking forward to making sure that SEMA continues to be strong, active, and united by moving forward with the succession and making sure that SEMA's here long after we're not. I'm going to pass it on to George.
SEMA is presently preparing to enter negotiations since our present 5-year agreement with the court will be expiring on July 31st. We surveyed our membership in March, and our top negotiating priorities have been identified. Passing it on to Jonathan.
Thank you, George. As many of you remember from last year's general membership meeting, we had recently finished our negotiations for our foundational contract in the County of Monterey. In the MOU, there are several enhancements for our members, and since last year, we've been successfully upholding those enhancements and building upon them. As you can see from the slide, we've included our base wage classification process. We were able to submit our full allotment of studies to the county, which has already produced a number of good results in the way of off-scheduled pay increases. You can also see I've included our successful negotiation of 2 on-call side letter agreements. That included 2 additional bureaus in the health department being added to our on-call benefit language and moving emergency comm 911 from the lower quarterly tier of compensation to a higher daily rate. We also want to highlight a relationship we've been building, and for that, I'll turn to our executive board member representing Monterey, Sandra Ontiveros.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to highlight relationships we've built with the Board of Supervisors, CAO, and executive management. Building those relationships has taken time and effort by each one of our advisory committee members, which includes myself, Annalisa Leal, Adam Mirahibi, Dina Northcutt, and Virginia Pierce, including our SEMA OE3 business agent, who you just heard from, Jonathan Brown. As SEMA has proven, it conducts business with a professional, collaborative approach when discussing issues with our CAO, the Board of Supervisors, and labor relations. A part of building those relationships also meant getting involved in this year's election cycle, where we formed our local COPE and met with each candidate, determined which individuals we're going to support, attended political events, and then worked to ensure that those candidates had the best opportunity in winning their races. I'm happy to report that all of the candidates we endorsed for the Board of Supervisors races won. And I'll pass it on to Jonathan.
Thank you, Sandra. Lastly, we wanted to note that we will be going back into full negotiations in Monterey County. In preparation for this, we have provided training for our bargaining team and the contract action team already. We hope you will all support our efforts to ensure the best possible working experience in wages, benefits, and working experience for our brothers and sisters in Monterey County. Moving on to Santa Cruz County. I am also the dedicated business agent there, which was developed recently through multiple meetings with their Middle Management Association, where we successfully entered into an agreement that contracts SEMA to represent their members for all MMBA matters until 2025, at which time we hope to fully integrate them into our fantastic union. That agreement started only a few months ago. We've already been busy building our base reputation as a reasonable union, of course, with their CAO, Director of Personnel, and Executive Management. We also hope to start building that same relationship with their Board of Supervisors soon. Additionally, we've started to tackle a few longstanding issues of compensation levels for a portion of their membership while helping others with individual personnel matters. It's been a busy few months, but we are extremely happy to bring Santa Cruz County MMA under the SEMA umbrella and look forward to letting you all know of many more positive impacts we are sure to have at next year's general membership meeting. With that, I'll turn to Zeb for more information on Santa Cruz.
Thank you so much, Jonathan. As Jonathan mentioned, we are very pleased to welcome Santa Cruz County, and we have some exciting developments that will be coming just down the road for the negotiations process in Santa Cruz. Something that I want to point out as well is because of the history of both the membership and Santa Cruz and how it's treated the group that we've been able to unionize there, they're just not, the administration and execs just aren't quite used to dealing with a union that demands to be a powerful partner. They're much more accustomed to kind of dictating things. And while that's okay, we're going to have to slowly change that culture and get them into a more collaborative mind frame. And that's an exciting project we're looking forward to taking on to the benefit of our Santa Cruz members. I also have some news I'd love to share with you all about Santa Clara County. Of course, this is the largest unit that we do represent within SEMA. And right now we are in the midst of negotiating a strong new 3-year contract. What you see on the screen are some components of that contract that I am able to share now. And we hope shortly, maybe even next week, we'll be able to have a tentative agreement, hopeful, fingers crossed, to be able to share with you all for you in Santa Clara County to give an up or down vote on. But let me share some of the features of the contract as it stands right now. It's a 3-year agreement, likely with a little bit more, some extra months probably tacked onto it, depending on where we land, with a 5% year 1, 2024, general wage increase, 4% in the second year of the contract, 2025, and 3% wage increase in 2026. We also have, for the first time, memorialized salary compaction protection. This would be at a 10% level, so it's a hard number. If you supervise someone and you do their work, you would be guaranteed a 10% spread as long as we put it through our classification process. So that's a phenomenal change. Also, some of our members in DFCS have experienced this. This is a component of SSA where they've got these differentials where it creates compaction, and we've been able to cure that through this. We also have a modest increase to the on-call pay. I know that was a priority for members to see a substantial increase. We have a modest one in this. We do have a phenomenal reduction in PERS contribution rates. So PERS has 2 groups, Classic and PEPRA. PEPRA currently pays a lot more for a worse benefit, a lesser benefit. So the benefit here is that they would have a reduction of over 4% in cash that they would keep in their pocket. We've also reformed the layoff procedures. It's a sad fact that the budget is looking a little bit rough in Santa Clara County right now. However, we're trying to make sure that should you choose or get an opportunity to promote, you will not be the first to go through the layoff process should cuts in the future have to come. So we'll see some additional protections there, as well as memorialization of the ITCC language, which impacts more than 500 of our members. Information Technology Career Compass for those that weren't here 6-7 years ago. Also, we have a broad range conversion. We have about 50 members that will be converted into a broad range, and that's a favorable transaction for you all. If you manage broad range, you would no longer have to worry about that. They'll be converted to STEP. And if you're in broad range, you'll have a favorable treatment in the STEP program. Lastly, you won't see this on the slide because it's hot off the press from our negotiations yesterday evening. We have a possibility, I'll include it as a possibility, of a blended longevity and merit pay step, which is one of the things that we really rallied for when we went to the Board of Supervisors and you all showed up with more than 440 people. So thank you for your activism. We're very excited to educate about this upcoming contract as soon as we can present it to you for vote. Let me pass it on to Adam now.
Thanks, Zev. As Zev was saying, I think the bargaining team will be very proud to present the contract they end up recommending for the SEMA unit. And that's been the culmination of 9 months of long work by the bargaining team. However, we had some additional big wins in the Santa Clara County SEMA unit in the last year. I am particularly proud personally of the work that SEMA and our SEMA nurses did in 2023 to win wage parity with the RNPA realignment increases that came out to their unit. It was an incredible example of what effective activism and unionism by nurses to the Board of Supervisors here in Santa Clara County looks like, as well as an incredible example of what a fairly small and dedicated group of SEMA members can do to win huge benefits for their peers across the union. To explain to folks who might not be in Santa Clara a little bit what happened, as our members in Santa Clara County well know, the nurse union here of about 4,000 members received realignments ranging between about 5 to 10% for all of their nurses in the last year. Our SEMA nurses are tied to those folks and should receive parity for wage increases. However, when SEMA approached county administration after those raises came out, the response from administration was, that's interesting, SEMA. If you think you're entitled to something under the contract, we're happy to discuss that in negotiations, which at that time were close to potentially a year away. And that was an unacceptable response to our mind, particularly for the incredibly dedicated nurses that we had in SEMA, who at that time were still in the midst of seeing us through the COVID pandemic. SEMA came up with a strategy to push on two fronts, both through the contractual and legal process, escalating to arbitration, while at the same time, we mounted a political campaign with the Board of Supervisors to front and center our nurses with their incredible contributions and ask for fair treatment alongside our MPA nurses. I want to share that, highlight a couple of our nurses specifically that did an incredible job in that process. You see Marco Acosta Meza pictured on the screen, Gina Bomarito, and a number of our other nurse managers were also instrumental in that process. I want to share that through that and through getting our nurses in front of the Board of Supervisors, the only thing that we heard back from administration on that activism and advocacy was how incredibly proud they were of their nurses, how articulate, and how they spoke up on behalf of county services in that process. Something I want to let folks know, because there can sometimes be a perception that, there's a negative impact for engaging in unionism and acting on behalf of yourself and your peers in the workplace for fair treatment. And that's just not ever been the case in our experience in the way that SEMA members and SEMA advocates for you. In this case, for the nurses that stood up and fought for this, one of them has since been very deservedly promoted to director. So again, this was an incredible example of activism by a small number of SEMA members, our nurses, to win 8% wage increases for all SEMA nurses, alongside retroactive payment for that for our nurse managers and our admin nurse twos. Overall, just fantastic work by our SEMA nurses. They should be very proud. Let me hand it off to Lawrence.
Thank you, Adam. As Adam has demonstrated, that part of being able to make incredible unionism and activism is a large and active membership. That is very crucial to the strength of the union. So it's great news that we've added over 200 new dues-paying SEMA members from this past year, and that can really be attributed to our membership drives, but also to the many great SEMA members like yourself who advocate to your coworkers the benefits of SEMA and the importance of supporting your union. On the note of support, we're also very excited for the upcoming general election in November, having supported Betty Young, Margaret Abekoga, and Otto Lee for the Santa Clara County Board of Supervisors, who've either placed on top in the March primary election, which will be Betty and Margaret, or who've won outright, like current County Supervisor Otto Lee. We look forward to having even more county supervisors who are allied with SEMA throughout all of our units. I'll pass this on to Andrew.
Hello again. I am Andrew Crockett, your new SEMA treasurer, and I'm a CPA and senior healthcare financial analyst here at the county. As SEMA treasurer, I'm a steward of SEMA's funds and financial processes, as well as serving on your SEMA administrative board. Additionally, I am responsible for federal, state, and local filings, including all political donation accounting, corporate taxes, and incorporation filings, all of which were completed and submitted on time. I am happy to report that SEMA is in good and improving financial health. While we posted a net loss last year and anticipate the same this year, these losses are due to the combined expenses of where we are in our negotiation cycle, this present major election year. That said, since coming on as treasurer in January, I have secured opening an investment account for our union to ensure that our net assets generate interest to help offset some of our expenses in this and future years. Additionally, I am chair of the SEMA Finance Committee, where I work with SEMA member at large and past SEMA treasurer Jim Piazza on improvements to our finance and accounting processes. I will provide more details on this committee in a later slide. I'm passing it on to Dolores.
Thank you so much, Andrew. SEMA is a thoughtful, organized, strategic union. And it's only because members like you volunteer to help us maintain our structure. So now we're gonna have our committee chairs let you know some of the opportunities to get involved. So if you have an hour or so, usually the committees meet once a month. It's an excellent way to make sure that the unit is able to conduct our business. And I just wanted to shout out to one of our members, Wanda Nguyen, who does a phenomenal job helping the organization move forward. I'm gonna pass it on to George.
Thank you, Dolores. The Court Advisory Council consists of 5 court employees and the court's executive board member at large. Current members represent 4 different work sites at the court. The role of this body is to 1, meet with the court administration on a quarterly basis to address labor issues that are brought to us by SEMA members, and 2, negotiate our contract with the court when expiration time approaches. We are here to address your concerns and invite you to reach out to us if there's any topics which you would like to discuss. We meet on the 3rd Friday of the month, every month from 2:30 to 3:30 p.m. I'd like to pass this on to Sandra.
Thank you, George. The Monterey County Advisory Council consists of a SEMA business agent and myself and 4 other county employees, all of which work at different work sites throughout the Monterey County. Please feel free to reach out to any one of us with any concerns, questions, or if you want to join any part of the committees, please reach out. The council will represent you in SEMA labor relations, represent you with SEMA and labor relations meetings, discussions, and contract negotiations. Also, we have scheduled quarterly labor management meetings with the Board of Supervisors and CAO. The council will hold monthly meetings on the 4th Tuesday of the month at noon. As you're aware, 2 years ago, we reached our first agreement since we joined SEMA, and we were able to get longevity pay, which was a big success, and it allowed many of our most tenured members to feel respected and appreciated. We now have professional representation and acknowledgement from SEMA, from county representatives and labor negotiators. Labor negotiations will begin in a couple of months since our contract is due to expire in December 2024. Please reach out if you're interested in participating in the Political Action Committee or soon to be formed Contract Action Team. We can always use more liaisons to help boost our membership, so please reach out if you are interested. Any questions or comments or interest in the MCAC or SEMA events, please reach out to me, Sandra Barrows, and I'm sure you can reach out via email. Thank you.
Thanks, Sandra. There's some good news for SEMA folks undergoing classification studies right now that we already have TA'd on through contract negotiations. Zeb mentioned one of them a little bit ago, which is that for the first time in SEMA's history, we are getting a hard limit for compaction and a definition built into SEMA's contract. That definition is going to be 10%. So for any supervisor who's supervising someone in SEIU or RMPA, can you make less than 10% more than that employee? You'll be entitled through the classification study process to get an automatic adjustment through a salary study to ensure that you're not compacted with that individual. Historically, this has been a very wishy-washy line for SEMA and difficult to enforce. This is great news that for the first time, we're getting a hard definition for compaction of the contract, and we'll look forward to being able to expand that in future contracts to include all subordinate classifications and not just ones in other unions. However, that line is going to kick in for the subsequent, meaning the forthcoming for 2025 window for classification study submissions. That means we're particularly going to be looking for instances of compaction. If that's you, the end of 2024 will be the time to start looking out for SEMA eBlast to know it's time to put in for a compaction adjustment. In addition, we're very happy to announce that we're going to be getting a guaranteed clear out of all the backlog of back classification studies in the first year of our new contract. We have a number of folks, between 30 and 40 classification studies that have been sitting out there since before the current contract, for which folks have been waiting for an answer. Through the contract, we're going to get a guaranteed closeout of those. Speaking on the 2023 classification studies that were submitted, we're starting to get a lot of them back. I would say our success rate is a little bit lower than it's been in previous years. That might be due to the budget situation, but we have seen some substantial wins with individuals seeing reclasses to a 20 or 25% increase. So overall, still a very effective process for SEMA folks, and we're looking forward to the good changes in the new year. The deadline for classification studies from last year is still about a little over a month away. So we'll still be receiving classification studies back over the next month if you're in that window. I'd like to pass it on to Jim and Carla.
Thanks so much. The Communications Committee has identified 4 priorities for 2024. The first is the most important. It's to engage, inform, and inspire our members. So please watch for new and exciting updates about members at work and in the community on our website, in your inbox, and on our socials. Second priority, we're going to wrap up work from last year around SEMA's IT needs. Third priority, we're working closely with other committees to increase communications around events, work, and updates so that members stay in the know about all things SEMA. And finally, the fourth, we're continuing and completing the parameters for the SEMA brand, and we're going to set some really smart goals for evaluation on all of these efforts. So little hint, please take a moment and open your SEMA voice when it arrives. This year, you could very well find yourself the subject of a hashtag SEMA member brags.
Whether you spend 5 minutes or 5 hours on social media each day, we can use your support towards efforts in effectively and inspiring communication for all of our members. We welcome membership participation in the committee and meet the third Friday of the month from 12 to 1. Come on down and join the communication committee. Andrew?
Thank you, Jim. This is the Finance Committee. This is a relatively new committee here at SEMA, which provides financial oversight to the bookkeeping and financial processes of SEMA. It has been spearheading the improvement of our financial control process to ensure more rapid and accurate payments, as well as investigating other improvements that will streamline the financial back end to empower and enable SEMA's continued growth. The committee also has been involved in getting SEMA's first ever investment account set up to invest SEMA's funds in a safe way that can produce interest income to support SEMA providing its services. Lastly, this committee works with the Audit Committee to ensure that SEMA's financial statements are audited annually to not only ensure accuracy, but find new potential internal control improvements to ensure your dues are stewarded safely and efficiently. If being involved in ensuring the financial quality of your union is of interest to you, please email me at acrockett, that's ACROCKETT, at sccema.org. Passing it on to Lawrence Michael and Mary Beth.
Hi, everybody. I'm going to talk about the liaison and membership committees, which are currently operating in tandem with each other because so much of what the membership and the liaison committees do overlap. Our goal for each of the 4 units that operate in SEMA is at least 80% per unit. Dolores will discuss that goal in a few minutes. SEMA membership numbers are doing well, but they could be better. Currently, we're at 64% overall for our 4 units, with almost 2,500 dues-paying members overall. For each unit, we're at 64% for Santa Clara County, 90% for the court unit, which is certainly a goal for all of us to strive to reach, 65% for the Monterey County unit, and 57% for the Santa Cruz County unit, which is good considering how new the Santa Cruz County unit is to SEMA. SEMA liaisons are SEMA's ambassadors. The membership and liaison committees meet the first Friday of the month from 12 to 1 on Zoom. We're looking for folks to join this committee. And if you enjoy doing outreach to your fellow members when there's news to share with dues paying members, or if you enjoy doing outreach to non-dues paying members to find out kind of what's the sticking point around them becoming a dues paying member, this is the committee for you. And we will provide you with, Lawrence Michael and I would provide you with all kinds of tools to reach out with, or, information, lists for members and non-dues paying members to reach out to, et cetera, et cetera. The Santa Clara County Board of Supervisors event was incredible. Well over 400 folks showed up, and that is due to a lot of the work that our liaisons did in the gear up for that particular meeting on April 16th of this year. Our liaisons were, were incredibly responsible for turning folks out and getting folks. I even talked to one liaison who said she was arranging carpools, so that's really cool. There are over, sorry, the meeting that we had on the 16th gave our negotiators leverage towards settling the remaining outstanding contract items. And based on what Zeb said earlier about the negotiations yesterday, that certainly is paying off. I'd like to pass it to Lawrence Michael now.
Thank you so much, Mary Beth. Hi, everybody. It is my great joy to return to the Liaison and Membership Committee as co-chair with Mary Beth. I chaired the membership committee back in 2017 and 2018 and enjoyed my time then as I do now. Now I'll turn over to Dolores and Jim to speak about the Political Action Committee.
Thank you so much, Lawrence Michael. SEMA spent 5 years building our political and community network in preparation for our contract negotiations. It is important to at least have 3 allies on the Board of Supervisors when we have issues and, of course, to approve our contract. The picture that you see there is a collaboration between SEMA, RMTA, the Physicians Union, the Deputy Sheriff's Association, Correction Officers, Peace Officers Association, and I'm missing one. Anyway, so I'm going to pass it on to Jim to tell you a little bit more about PAC.
Our PAC is open to all chapters. Each of the chapter makes political and charitable recommendations to the E-Board. Monterey County will soon have its own PAC, so contact Sandra if you want to be part of that PAC and make a difference. Right now, we're preparing for the D2 and D5 supervisor election in 24 for Santa Clara County. And I'm looking forward to new ways to expand and improve our civic engagement of SEMA members. In fact, not only do we want to support and win elections for labor-friendly candidates, join PAC if you have any interest in local politics and would like to your colleagues outside of the workplace as we strengthen with our decision-making who shapes our workplace and our community. Next up is Lawrence Michael and Robin to share more about the professional development committee. Lawrence Michael.
Thank you, Jim, and thank you, Dolores. This year it is my great honor and pleasure to co-chair the Professional Development Committee with my dear colleague and friend, Robin Rivas Romano. The PD Committee's primary mission is to encourage professional development and career advancement for SEMA represented employees through seminars, workshops, and other events. We meet every 3rd Friday at lunch via Zoom. In May of 2023, we hosted our first post-pandemic in-person event titled What's the Tea? It was an afternoon tea time event held at the Signia, formerly Fairmont San Jose, where we chatted with incoming CEO James Williams, COO Greta Hansen, and said our goodbye to outgoing CEO Dr. Jeff Smith. In September, we held a breakfast in-person event at the Holiday Inn San Jose Silicon Valley called Nonviolent Communication with Eric Huang from the Center of Nonviolent Communication. Robin?
SEMA was also a proud sponsor of the county's Learning and Employment Development Department's Mid-Level Manager Summit, The Power of Synergy, in both May and November of 2023. These events featured New York Times bestselling author Julie Luckett-Hames, JD, as keynote speaker. Some highlights included classes in workplace conflict tools and techniques, engaging your team, and unlocking diversity, just to name a few. These events, targeted to mostly SEMA employees, were great day-long events, providing amazing professional development, as well as the chance to see old friends, meet new ones, and network with the county, and great food, snacks, and beverages. We have some exciting events that we can't wait to share with you this year, so keep your eyes and ears peeled for our upcoming events. And somebody in this room rocks my world. I can't tell you who. Lawrence Michael?
Thank you, Robin. If you have any ideas or suggestions, we'd love to hear it. So please feel free to contact me or Robin or other board members or any of our SEMA OE3 agents. Reminder, you can also sign up on the website. As always, I want to thank each and every one of you for your continued participation. Now I'd like to turn it over to Donna and Robin to share more about our much-loved scholarship committee.
And I'm having a little issue with my camera, so I apologize. So Robin, you're gonna be spotlighted.
Oh, great.
I'm on two different cameras
My
here.
favorite.
You'll see me on this one. Robin Rivas Romano and I, and by the way, we are not recording this. I know if someone thinks this is a recording or watching, it is not. Robin Rivas Romano and I are proud to be your co-chairs for the 2024 Scholarship Committee. Last year, we received over 20 scholarship applications and awarded over 29,000 to 19 amazing children of our SEMA members. Robin and I really know the importance of this committee and are passionate about the work involved, as our children are previous scholarship awardees. Thank you. Our first meeting to finalize the program was on Monday, May 6th at 11, as we had over 30 applications this year that we are currently reviewing. But if you still want to be part of our committee, there's only 2 or 3 meetings you have to attend. If you want to join us and help award money to some amazing young people who, I don't know about you, but they've questioned my own contributions in life, please email us at scholarship@sccema.org. We would love to have you join our team. And now I'm passing it on to the great committee, retirees. Robin, do you
Thank you so much, Donna. So some of us, we can only dream of retirement, but many of our SEMA siblings have achieved this great career milestone. And the rest of us, well, we're happy for them, but not quite ready to part ways. So this is what we've done. It's 2024 is SEMA's 50th anniversary, and we've proudly launched our retiree chapter. Dues are $50 per year, and we have a goal to get at least 50 retirees to join during our first ever retiree membership drive happening right now. I volunteer with my union for a lot of reasons, and one of them is to bring some fun to the workplace. And we've had some great fun. We're planning a happy hour this summer. We're planning a coffee in the fall and a lunch in November, all with the retirees. But we also take to heart our business rep Zeb's mantra that there are always 3 groups of people that we're advocating for: future members, current members, and our retirees. We need a strong retiree chapter to mentor and provide peer support to other SEMA folk who want to dream and make that a reality about retiring. And we need to make sure that retiree benefits remain in place, because everything to do with unions is always at risk, and we have to work hard for these things. So you might be related to or know someone who is a SEMA retiree. We're asking that you do them and do us a favor and get them to our website so that they can register online, or have them email us for more details. The committee meets the second Wednesday of the month at 9 a.m. over Zoom. Our next meeting is June 12th. We have 5 committee planning members who are actually retirees, and a few more of us who wish we were. So you'll be in really wonderful company. And with that, I'll pass it on now to Zeb.
Thank you so much, Carla and Robin. It's my pleasure right now to talk a little bit about SEMA Champions. This is an award that was established just a couple of years ago by the SEMA Executive Board, and it encourages and acknowledges those of our members that really embody union values and principles. And it's designed to not only recognize those that are so active and a force for change and good in the workplace, but also give them a little bit of acknowledgement and a mechanical award. So not only will they be recognized as part of this process, but happily a scholarship will be in their honor for the year that they receive the award. And additionally, just the general thanks of SEMA members. So we've got 2 to introduce to you this year. And with that, I'll pass it on to Adam to introduce you to our first SEMA champion.
Thanks, Seb. I don't think we have enough time in the presentation to say all the nice things about Jesse that I'd like to. For anyone who didn't have the pleasure of knowing Jesse, he's a former SEMA Executive Board member and current retiree from the County of Santa Clara, and active participant in SEMA's newly formed retiree chapter, so still engaged with SEMA activities and in the community. Jesse had a long and successful career with Santa Clara County. He was promoted several times and ended up as a PBS supervisor in the admitting department, the ED at Santa Clara County Valley Medical Center. As a colleague, Jesse was known throughout the hospital system, both for his expertise and his dedication to his job. In our community, he was an ever-present feature and face at local community events, known for his activism as well as his passion on advocating about causes for which he cared deeply. In addition, Jesse very capably ran our political action committee, and SEMA's current good political standing in the county owes a lot to Jesse's expertise. He was always willing to lend his insight into political relationships and dynamics in Santa Clara County to SEMA, and was also willing to leverage his personal political relationships built through years of activism and dedication for SEMA's benefit, as well as a great advocate of county services, particularly our hospital system. We will all miss Jesse, particularly those of us on the executive, or those members on the executive board and those of us on staff who had many years and an opportunity to work very closely with Jesse. We all wish him the best of luck moving forward in his future endeavors. We're very pleased that he'll continue to be some part of SEMA through our retiree chapter. We'd like to thank Jesse for his time, and I'm very pleased and proud to acknowledge him as the first SEMA champion of this year. Pass it on to Zeb.
Thanks, Adam, and thanks also to Jesse. It's my pleasure as well to acknowledge Steve Gall. Steve hails from our court chapter, the Superior Court of the County of Santa Clara, and has been a long-term SEMA member and also a board member, as well as a member of the Court Advisory Council, which is one of their guiding bodies. Steve is often regarded as the voice of SEMA at the Superior Court. He has, as I mentioned, with that longevity, many members will go to him and ask clarifying questions about the contract, which he's an expert at. He's the longest serving negotiation team member there and has just been an incredible resource for not only newcomers, but even those who have been around 10, 15 years. They'll go to Steve and he'll share the real way the contract works and how to get a few things done operationally as well. He's also been a persuasive SEMA executive board member for 6 years. So he did serve his terms as an e-board member. He's no longer an e-board member, but does sit on the Court Advisory Council as well as their current bargaining team, and really brings a steady hand to that. Additionally, he is a force in the community as well, and always advocates for SEMA, whether it's through judicial elections or around the court at community events as well. While no individual necessarily wins something on their own for the entirety of the unit, Steve was a powerful voice and advocate for telework for SEMA members. So much so that the court has a primarily remote pilot program where individuals work from home for really the vast majority of their work month. And when I say vast majority, you could look at coming in 1 day a month. So that's something that some members in our other units aspire to, and others really like going to work physically at the workplace. So just another feature that Steve has brought to our SEMA members over at the court through that group effort. So hats off to Steve. Really want to thank you for your excellent work for SEMA. Steve's still with us. He's not a retiree, as Jesse was. So hopefully many more years of Steve being active with the union. Thanks, Steve. I now pass it on to our president, Dolores.
Thank you so much, Deb. So the board gets together every year and we talk about our board priorities to make sure that we're focused on the work. First, of course, our first priority is to make sure that we negotiate the best contract for our members. Our contract will take us for the next 3 years. So all of our committees and SEMA is focused on negotiating the best contract. Secondly, is to make sure that our business reps represent our members in a professional and outstanding way. And as I mentioned, our business representatives in SEMA are very well regarded throughout the counties and the various jurisdictions we represent. A huge goal that we have is to increase our membership by 80%. And this is important because when we negotiate with the county or any of the jurisdictions, they always want to know what the union density is. And the higher the density, the more impact the organization, the union has with the employer. So if we have 25% of our members paying dues, then they don't take us as seriously. Whereas if 80% of our membership is dues paying members are involved, then we are able to leverage that in a very positive way and are able to get greater results It also provides for the infrastructure for the union and the organization. We're also very proud to say that we're 50 years old. So SEMA, it's been huge. And this year we will be celebrating our 50th anniversary. If you have thoughts or ideas or want to get involved, send us an email. We're happy to have you. And an important milestone that we have, as you know, the retirees mentioned, is that we are not going to be here forever. And so we always plan to make sure that the organization has the policies, procedure, the succession plan, the training, and the infrastructure to support our members and our contract for years to come. And lastly, that SEMA has financial stability to make sure that we have enough money to pay for all the things that SEMA needs, whether it's our business representatives, where we're housed, and to maintain like the scholarships and things that are really important to our membership. So I'm going to pass it on to Zeb.
Thanks, Dolores. I'm going to share a little bit with all of you about the 2024 business agent priorities. You heard a little bit about some of the board priorities. Those work hand in glove with the business agent priorities. So first off, we're going to be you can expect from us this year, we're going to be distributing and educating members on the new Santa Clara County contract, which we hope to present to you shortly. But I want to highlight, this is not just going to be for Santa Clara County. Every single one of our units will have open contracts in 2024. So you can expect from every unit that we will present, of course, for an up and down vote, as you well know, but that we will have educational sessions, whether it's a recorded, will be all of these, a recorded YouTube video, live meetings where you can come in person or virtually to be educated, and in some cases, even professional development events. So that's something you can take to the bank from us. We will educate you on the features of the unit. You will also have staff and board members who negotiated that agreement, sharing with you how you can best access the components of that contract. Also, as I mentioned, all of the units are going to have open contract negotiations. You can see highlighted here Monterey County and the Superior Court, as well as Monterey. And Jonathan mentioned that Santa Cruz County at the very end of the year will be opening their contract as well. So the timing of opening these contracts is done with thought and strategy. We're opening them, for example, with the court in just as soon as the May revise, it's called the May revise hits, so that we know what the funding levels will be for the court, and we're not talking about finances in a vacuum. Similarly, with Santa Clara County, we wanted to open early so that we would have plenty of time to negotiate and not run into a pinch where we're struggling with the expiration of our contract. With Monterey as well, there's a strategy when we're opening so that we're not under pressure to lose those precious winter closure days that sometimes the county can use as a negotiation tactic and put some pressure on the union, because those are vacation days that it's a use it or lose it only for units that are under contract. And then, of course, lastly, with Santa Cruz, we want to make sure that we get in that foundational contract. We already have contract language, but this is the first time they will be represented by a union rather than a law firm. So we want to make sure we have plenty of time for that. Also, we want to have a sensible plan for growth through organizing new units where SEMA already has a presence. So for example, you won't see us looking to pick up a unit in Sacramento. It's just too far away. But where we already have a presence, if court units are talking to us, where we already have a county presence, maybe confidential units are already talking to us, where we have an existing representational structure, that's where we're looking at the moment from a business rep lens. One other thing that I'm pleased to share, it's not a bullet point on this slide, but one other thing that I'm pleased to share is that a decade-long thought and then conversation has come to an end with resulting in stipends for your elected board. Why I think this is important to highlight is that your board has given so much of their time with the thanks of the SEMA membership, but without any compensation. So this is the first time that at least they have an option of receiving a stipend as a modest thank you for the work that they are doing. This year's, to me, has been pretty exciting to see SEMA's power grow and to see the poise and power that we demonstrated at the workplace and especially through our rallies. And through all our units, I want to ask you, please carry on that tradition in your workplace. It's one of the reasons we get calls from other units seeking representation. So you should all be proud. I'm very thankful for the work that you all have done, and you should be proud for the work that you've done advancing the goals of the union. Thank you all. Let me pass it on now to Lawrence Michael.
Thank you so much, Deb. As always, our SEMA members continue to showcase our resilience with professionalism, perseverance, and dedication. We continue to support our counties, our residents, whether we are at the courts, at the hospitals, with the myriad departments of Santa Clara County and Monterey County, and now Santa Cruz. And through it all, we continue to provide world-class level, essential and exceptional service. And in turn, whatever we face, we, the SEMA Executive Board, and the SEMA OE3 staff are dedicated to providing you these same levels of service. We'll continue to represent our dues-paying members, continue services and benefits, and provide vital union information. We celebrate our accomplishments from 2023, like successful base wage and classification studies, increased our membership from last year, and we even added a new chapter with Santa Cruz joining SEMA. We elected 3 labor-friendly county supervisors, and we created a bargaining team and conducted training. And we look forward eagerly to all the accomplishments that 2024 will bring. Through all of this, we continue to grow a strong, dedicated SEMA executive team and amazing SEMA OE3 staff. Now, we ask that you stay connected by doing any or all of the following. 1, check us out on social media, on Facebook, on Instagram and Twitter, #SemaProud. 2, attend one of our 6 site meetings each month. Most of them are on site, but all are accessible virtually. We hold monthly meetings for combined sites, behavioral health, SSA at Julian, TSS at Tasman, VHP, and VMC. Please note that all members are welcome to any of the site meetings, no matter the location. 3, sign up for our members portal at www.sccema.org. And you can always email us at help@sccema.org. And 4, keep showing off that SEMA swag, because we are, as always and ever, #SemaProud. Now you have questions and we have answers, so I'd like to turn it over to Donna, our Madam Secretary.
Well, thank you, everyone. And again, apologies for us reaching our capacity so quick. It's apologies and excitement, because I'm glad you're actually coming and joining us. So on that note, we'll go through some questions. Let's see here. So Frank Gomez asked, speaking of the possibility of layoffs, any chance of the Santa Clara County bringing back the golden handshake from 3 years ago?
I can take that one, Donna.
Thank you.
So that's not up for discussion right now. The current budget is just not nearly as dire as the budget was when the county last did the golden handshake. We had dozens of positions that were filled that were going to be closed in the 2020 budget crisis. The current budget is online, and there are fewer than 10 filled SEMA positions being cut, and there will remain 600 vacancies across the county. So it's very unlikely the county has any interest in paying people to retire effectively or leave anytime soon. If the budget gets worse in coming years, that's something that we could look at that point. But I think we're all fingers crossed the budget doesn't look worse in coming years. So it's not on the radar now, and hopefully we don't get there.
Thank you, Adam. Second question, and actually there were a couple of these questions, and also to those of you who were asking about what we covered the 30 minutes before you joined. We will be covering, this meeting's being recorded and it will be uploaded for our members to see. So second question, this is Brenda RN, and there were other RNs asking the same questions, asking how this new contract benefit RNs in SEMA. Are nurses included in the service recognition longevity raises?
Sure, I can respond to that. This is Deb. So the way that the county has proposed it at the moment, no. The position of the county is that there is a 6th step that nurses get, and that is a reason that the county is saying that they should not be eligible for the otherwise what I would characterize as a longevity or blended pay step. So this is something that we've pushed back on with the county, and the county has, I think, a philosophical opposition to it. It's something that we're still exploring, but that's the position of the county, certainly not the position of the union. we've proposed in every proposal to include all of them.
Yeah, and I would add, I think saying pushed back might be a little too mild. Your entire bargaining team was at 70 West until, about 10:30 last night, fighting over this amongst a couple other things. So this has been a sticking point for us and something that we're not gonna let go easily. I do want to emphasize though, there was a couple other RN questions. At minimum, SEMA RNs will receive the SEMA pension reduction on top of whatever contract RMPA eventually settles on. So this is already with current language on the table, looking to be a very strong contract for SEMA nurses. A Pepper SEMA nurse, for example, will at minimum do 4.25% better than the equivalent RMPA nurse. So this looks to once again be a strong contract for SEMA nurses, but we're definitely interested in extending that service merit longevity construction across the SEMA unit. We got a lot of questions about what you meant by the blended benefit as well. This might be a good time to just jump into that if you want to share as much as you feel comfortable sharing.
I'll leave it to Donna to go through the questions and then I'll hit them as they come up.
All right, then we'll just keep going down the road. Brenda wanted to ask, when do Peppermint members CalPERS reduction take effect?
Okay, so with what's currently on the table, that would be in the 3rd year of the contract. So right now we're contemplating a 3-year contract. It would be in the summer of the 3rd year of the contract.
Okay, and do non-Pepper members, so our classics, also have a CalPERS reduction?
I'll take that one as well, I guess. And Lawrence and Adam, please feel free to jump in as well as other members of the bargaining team. Yes, but extremely modest. It's 0.1% of a percent. So you're going to get like a cup of coffee. It's worth a cup of coffee. It's not. It's half a cup. One member in the room is saying. So it's modest, and that's all I can say about it. It's really modest.
Okay, Veronica is asking, what does performance pay mean, and what is the criteria?
Sure. So I could speak to it. We have made a practice of not speaking with specificity on these types of proposals, especially because it's something that the county just presented as a variant of what we had a very clear construction on longevity pay. So I actually don't even know what it's going to settle out at, but it involves positive performance appraisals is pretty much all I can say about it.
Would the PERS contribution reduction take effect? Oh, we already answered that. I'm trying to go through here. There was one other question. Does the 10% compaction include differentials, lead language, like differentials on notary or language, bilingual language?
Okay, I'll speak to that again. Adam and Lawrence, jump in on these, please. So no, the compaction language is a step-to-step comparison that excludes differentials. But there's a benefit and a cost to that. The benefit is, let's say you do get a differential because you're on call or you're bilingual, but your subordinate is not, that's excluded. However, similarly, that would be excluded if your subordinate received a differential for, let's say, working a night shift or overtime or something like that. So no is the answer to that question.
Yeah, I typed an answer that's a little bit more nuanced than that, which is one thing we have been sometimes successful on and sometimes not, is in arguing that a component of base pay are mandatory differentials. So if all of your subordinates are required to have a CIP certification as an MQ for their position, that's indistinguishable from base pay because it's impossible to not get it as part of your pay in that position. You would hope we were universally successful in that argument. I would say we are sometimes successful in arguing that that's a component of base pay. But otherwise, no. Differentials that are just the discretionary you may or may not get are definitely not going to be considered.
Okay, and then the last question we actually have on here is the compaction language, is there a consideration for compaction adjustment that is SEMA to SEMA?
No, and that's an excellent question. I just posted in chat that the compaction language is for non-SEMA unions. So that means, for instance, if you supervise RMPA, or you supervise 1587 or SEIU, and you're that first level of manager, supervisor, whatever it might be, that's where the compaction language triggers. It's also, excuse me, probably the most critical for us because we don't have any say over how those units get raises and how that pushes up against us. Whereas internally, we can try to address through our current classification study language if there is compaction internally. Like, let's say, for example, this is not the case, but let's just pretend that an accountant 1, 2, and 3, that let's say they were 6%, 6%, 6% apart, and all those classifications were SEMA. I realize they're not, probably not the best example, but that would give you some sense of it. But then we would want to see, try to repair that lack of distance internally.
Thank you, Zeb.
Yeah, just to add on a little bit to that. This was a great example of, I think, creative thinking at the bargaining table. And exactly a keen insight from your SEMA president, Dolores, that, you know, we got here on this piece of language at the bargaining table. It was kind of an understanding of why we've been so historically unable to get a hard compaction limit into the contract, which is a fear from administration about unanticipated ripple effects up the chain of command, because in some departments there's 5 levels of SEMA. So an increase at a low level could ripple up and cost the county a lot of money. With this construction, the county felt comfortable enough to agree to it, to see what does this end up looking like over a 3-year period, where we're kind of capping it just at 1 level. And our hope is that we're able to expand it in future contracts to include all SEMA positions, as we see that this is not, you know, unimplementable language. Unless, of course, it does end up becoming radically expensive for the county, which means you guys are getting lots of raises, in which case we might just have the current construction. But we hope to expand it in future years, and this is definitely a foot in the door and a thin end of the wedge that we've gotten something in here for the first time, and it's an opportunity to improve it in the future.
Thank you, Adam. That concludes all of our questions. We are at 1:02, so we are at time. I would like to thank everyone who attended. Again, we apologize that the capacity was very limited, but we're glad that we had that many members actually join us. This meeting will be recorded and posted for those of you who are not able to watch or get access in. And if you have any questions, you can always email help@sema.org, and we would love to hear from you. We hope you have a great Friday and a great weekend, and we hope to see you soon with some great contract news.
Happy Mother's Day, everybody.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day. Thank you guys so much. You are freaking awesome.
Well, thank you.
Who's saying that? No.
That's
Wow, serious voice.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Congratulations, everybody.
We did it.